friend? Brian
Zeman, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, we're live on YouTube.
Yay!
Hi, we're getting set up. We'll be ready in a few minutes. Oh, we can move up is what you, I don't, oh, okay. Oh, I guess we could. That makes sense. And we're, no, the Ted's not, yes he is.
Yeah, Anna's gonna sit right there.
Okay.
Did you say Anna or Anna?
Anna.
Anna, okay.
Yeah.
I know what it's like to have a name that everyone can pronounce.
Why?
So I think we're live.
I was gonna say.
My first name too.
Yeah, we are live. We just
Think about Ted.
Ted is pretty easy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I get
Oh, the
Janet.
sound. I get problems with the sound. When I say Ted, everyone thinks Tad. So I have to go, no, it's Ted. And it's like, oh, yeah, Ted.
Ted.
Hi.
Hello.
Okay, well, Francesca's not in that one. So, yeah, there we go.
Perfect. Yeah, that's good.
Awesome.
All right. You can take a seat anywhere. Hi, how are you?
Okay, we're almost ready. It's 12:56. Glad you could join us. You're on social media?
She's the one.
All right. What time is it?
12:57.
Okay. So you're getting the behind the scenes look. Okay. Over there. There you go. Oh, okay.
That's perfect.
It is. It is.
And then I can just get up and push the buttons there if I need to.
Okay, sounds good.
So what are we talking about?
Well, it's social media week in Chicago.
You know it's easy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I'm a joker.
That's good. That's fine.
So I had a question from a friend. If he can't watch in its entirety right now, or can't tune in live right now, is it going to be available to watch later?
It is.
No. And how do we do that?
You go to youtube.com and you search for Social Media Week, How to Travel.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah. Somebody have a countdown?
We got 2 minutes.
Yeah, two minutes to go. And Ted's drinking his Goose Island beer that he could not wait to,
Me neither.
Francesca. And I'm the non-beer drinker.
Yes,
so.
go to the bar.
Sorry.
She asked if we wanted to serve her beer, and we were just like,
Actually, so we're doing through Raven Boulevard.
because this is how we do it.
Anyone out there want to order a beer?
See, I'm jumping in. The hashtag, so if anybody has questions.
Oh,
that's a
yeah,
good idea.
I was going to do that too. Good call. Good call. Send a link to my email. Why?
Yeah, I was going to put out a post this morning about like all the recommended Twitter handlers, but didn't get around to it. I had too much of this last night.
How was the party?
It was fun.
Yeah.
Sorry I missed out.
Yeah, we missed you. Well, we got to do selfies now.
Oh.
So here, let me go do a selfie. So it goes into the stream while we're waiting.
I never did see our picture yesterday.
No, they left. That's why they were gone. Okay. Look up, you guys. Let's see. How can I get in there?
There you go.
Ted.
Ted, come in. There you go.
Okay, so is it time yet?
It is, it's 1 o'clock.
Woohoo! All right. Are you going to take a selfie of us? See? Oh, thank you. Francesca, look up.
Oh, hi.
Thank you. Well, hello. Welcome to Social Media Week Chicago, How to Travel, TSTGLive, and you can follow us on Twitter at hashtag, which is a #, SMWCHI And I am Janice Temple of the Skychi Travel Guide, and you can follow me on Twitter at SKYCHI _travels, TARVELS. And, well.
Oh, sorry. I'm sending an email to someone with a link to the YouTube broadcast.
Oh, fantastic.
Hi, I'm Francesca Mazurkiewicz, and I am also known as the Working Moms Travels. That's the name of my blog, my travel blog. And you can follow me on Twitter at @WorkMomTravels. And what else?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Throw it over to Anna.
I'm Anna Serafin. My blog is Traveling Latina. You can follow me on Instagram at Traveling Latina, as well as on Twitter at Traveling Latina.
I'm Ted Nelson. Traveling Ted is my blog. You can follow me at travelingted.com. It's my website. Also Traveling Ted on Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, and Facebook.
Okay, great. And so this is Social Media Week, so we're going to talk a little bit about exactly what is social media. So who wants to take the first one? So what's social media?
Social media is a great distraction, and it's a wonderful tool to find out any kind of information, really, from news to sports, and to find out about travel, how to travel, make travel plans, find new destinations, or come up with ideas on places to visit you may have never thought of before.
Okay. And what's your definition of social media?
I think social media is a great way to connect with those near and far without having to really pick up the phone and call somebody. It's also a great networking tool to meet new people and get inspiration for specifically connected to this topic, travel.
I got into social media personally to drive traffic to my blog, but since then it's kind of created its own kind of entity. So it's a great way to, well, my blog is to inspire people to travel and give them information. But you can also do the same thing on social media with pictures and putting up links and sharing, and also finding tips yourself.
And it's a great place to network.
It is
It's a great means to network, absolutely.
Okay. And I recently read that social media is putting the social into media. So media is news, as you said, sharing photos, videos, blogs. So those are all forms of media. And we're the people behind. We're the social part. Right here. So let's talk a little bit about Twitter. What is Twitter?
What is Twitter?
What is Twitter?
Twitter is a very, very useful social media tool. And a lot of people I hear all the time, my friends say, I don't know how to use Twitter. I'm afraid of Twitter. Twitter doesn't make any sense to me. I kind of taught myself how to use Twitter. And I started using Twitter, like Ted said, to kind of drum up traffic for my travel blog. So I pretty much taught myself, and I've been using Twitter regularly for almost 5 years now. So I have almost 5,000 followers, and you know, everybody says, well, it doesn't make any sense because it's not like Facebook. So Twitter is, and everybody, you know, we know that there's only 140 characters allowed per tweet, and you can follow someone on Twitter without that person or company, celebrity, brand, what have you, following you back. So it's not like Facebook where you send a friend request and it has to be mutually agreed upon. So Twitter's kind of fast moving. You can follow as few people as you want, or as many, although I understand there are limits. I haven't been put in Twitter jail, so I'm not sure.
I get Twitter jail all the time.
Do you? Okay.
Way too many Twitter.
So Twitter, you know, you can follow travel bloggers like us. You can follow destinations. Most major cities, states, you know, countries have their own tourism boards that have Twitter accounts. So you can follow them and let them know that you're going to be visiting. and they can probably give you some insider tips. And also Twitter, I have found that some destinations or like even individual hotels will tweet like kind of like a discount code, you know, or some kind of a deal. So if you're planning to stay at a certain hotel, like I know the Hyatt Regency here in Chicago, they'll tweet like a code word, and if you check in and give them the code word, you get 24 hours of complimentary Wi-Fi.
Oh,
So
that's a good tip.
yeah, so I mean, there's things like that. So there are benefits to using Twitter, and I don't know if we really defined what Twitter is, but that's kind of how you can use it.
Okay. So Ted?
I'd like to talk a few minutes about hashtags. Hashtags is a way that Twitter categorizes tweets by subject. So you put the number sign followed by whatever the subject is, like say Costa Rica, and then you can like click on that hashtag and look at all the tweets that are on that subject. So for travel, say you're going to Costa Rica, you can click on the hashtag. You can look at links that people are putting up or pictures about Costa Rica to inspire yourself to find a good place to go. You might be able to find travel bloggers that are writing about it that can give you tips. It's just very, very helpful, very useful way to look up information. And you can even like say you want to hear what people are talking about in the Denver Broncos game, and you can click on the Denver Broncos and see what the conversation is about the football game. So.
Sounds good. Anna?
Well, I'm going to hear the conversation a little bit, still jumping on the hashtag part, but going into Instagram, because you can use the hashtag too on Instagram and Pinterest. And similar concept, when you jump on Instagram, you can type in a search for a particular hashtag. So let's type back to Chicago, hashtag Chicago. You'll see that there was about 10,000 plus photos on there, 10 million plus photos. I can't remember what the last number was. But anyways, and then on there you can follow folks that are posting images of things that they're doing around Chicago, and that can even inspire you to do some fun activities that you never thought that you could do in the city of Chicago or even in other cities that you're traveling to. Again, similar concept, just use a hashtag, the pound sign basically, and type in the destination that you're going to. Or what I found even useful is typing in a hashtag with maybe something that inspires you. So if you love to cook, you can do something like travel cooking or travel cook, and then a bunch of photos will pop up of users that are either doing what you want to do or they're hosting something in particular that you'd love to take advantage of. And that can inspire you really to take travel to another level.
Okay, great.
Another useful thing about hashtags with Twitter, you can, like, if you're at a new place, you don't know anyone, and maybe by yourself, you can be like, yeah, I'm in Costa Rica, what should I do? Hashtag Costa Rica. You might find people, other travelers, you might hook up with them, you might hook up with locals, which of course is always a great way to get local information from people that live there and stuff. So.
And I'm sorry.
Oh, well, one of the benefits of joining Twitter is that you can talk to anyone. Facebook, you follow your friends, you follow your family, and then you're led to follow their friends or their family members. But Twitter, you can talk to anyone. You can talk to people in other countries, you can talk to celebrities, because Twitter is like having somebody's phone number. It's like you have a celebrity or an important person's phone number, because everybody is connected to Twitter. They were the early adopters of it. So, like, I believe Ocho Cinco has the most Twitter followers. He's in the millions, and he takes his Twitter followers, he does like meetups with them. So he'll tweet, hey, I'm at Starbucks, come join me at Starbucks. And all these people show up, and he buys them Starbucks coffee. So, I mean, people are approachable on Twitter. I mean, they don't have to answer you. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they might retweet. A retweet is they repeat what you have written. So that's like a confirmation. That's like validation that what you said is important. So, and then you can star or favorite a person's tweets. So that's a good way to get people to follow you back. So we want to talk a little bit about followers. Who should people follow if they're coming to Chicago, if they're going to Costa Rica? That seems to be 10 minutes.
got that on my mind.
Ted is going to Costa Rica. So, but so who should they follow? Who do you recommend that they follow?
Well, we talked the other night about the first, I guess, Twitter account to follow when you're coming to Chicago is Choose Chicago. So it's at Choose Chicago. And
what is Choose Chicago? What is it?
It is the place to find information on things to do, what to see, where to go, where to eat in Chicago. Anything that you want to know about things going on in the city, Choose Chicago is going to have it listed. And they have certain partners, so you can link to those partners via their website and probably even their Twitter. If you look at their followers list or to see who they're following, you could probably hook up with other companies, their partners that way.
Okay. And any other suggestions?
Choose Chicago.
So to spell it, CHOOSE, Chicago.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I've heard people say shoes, and I'm like, oh, okay, shoes.
Yes, choose to come to visit Chicago. Yes, you got to come to Chicago if you haven't been.
Yeah, and a lot of folks actually have been using hashtag Choose Chicago as well. So if you want to find what the locals are doing and so on, check out the hashtag as well. I think another person or another account that I would follow would be the Local Tourist. It's a popular travel blog here in the city of Chicago. He highly focuses in not only Chicago but the Midwest area. So if you're planning on going to like, I don't know, Milwaukee or somewhere close by in Indiana or even Michigan, you can get some great tips from him as well. So it's at the Local Tourist, and I believe that's the same account information for Instagram as well as a Facebook page.
Okay. Do you have any suggestions on who to follow, Ted?
Yeah, since my focus is kind of outdoor adventure travel, I kind of, when I'm in the city, one of my favorite places is the Chicago River. And there's a variety of ways that you can explore that. You can do it on a guided boat. You can do it by canoe. I'm actually a canoe guide with the Friends of the Chicago River. Their Twitter handle is at Chicago River. You can also rent an e-boat. I'm not sure what their Twitter handle is off. It'd be easy to find.
E-boat?
Chicago, yeah, Chicago Electric e-boats.
Oh,
They're electric boats.
Oh.
It's great fun.
Yeah.
Learn something good.
Yeah, there's Kayak Chicago. It's another too. And also, I'm tweeting on my account. If you follow Traveling Ted, I put up 6 tweets during this time period of tour groups that I've worked with every like 10 minutes. So I think I have e-boats is one of them. Chicago River is one of them. I also put Chicago Detours. I did a historic bar walking tour with them, which was very enjoyable. Anyone that comes to Chicago, I think have a good time with them.
I did the same as Ted. So if you follow at Work Mom Travels, you can see, I guess, I tweeted out a bunch of different places to check out when you're visiting Chicago. So.
So if you're just tuning in, this is Social Media Week, How to Travel, and this is Francesca, and she is, her blog, we're all travel bloggers, her blog is The Working Moms Travels, theworkingmomstravels.com. And you can follow her on Twitter at
Work Mom Travels.
Okay, and I'm Janice Temples, the Skychi Travel Guide. And my Twitter handle is at SkychiTravels, at Skychi_travels.
And I'm Serafin from blog TravelingLatina.com, and you can follow me on Twitter at TravelingLatina and Instagram at TravelingLatina.
And I'm Traveling Ted, focuses outdoor adventure travel, travelingted.com, with traveling with one L, and Traveling Ted on Twitter as well.
Traveling with one L over here as well.
Don't get confused with the English.
Right.
The English and the Canadians are out there.
Everywhere else spells it with 2 L's.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Another cool Twitter account would be to follow if you're coming to Chicago and if you're a foodie traveler. It's at Chicago Foodies. They are constantly posting not only ridiculously tasty foods via Instagram and Twitter, but also like really cool interviews with chefs around town and places to go visit, and even food trucks to check out while you're here in Chicago. So highly recommend following them as well.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah.
Great tip. Gotta come. Chicago has the most diverse restaurants.
Yeah.
I mean, for this is a foodie city, so if you love to eat, definitely come to Chicago. We've got much more than pizza. Much more than pizza.
And hot dogs.
Yes, more than pizza and hot dogs. And popcorn. We have more than that.
Absolutely.
Yes, and we're at Goose Island Brew Pub.
Yeah, see, Ted and I have our beers.
Cheers.
Mine's almost gone.
Yeah, I'm the lame one here with the water, so.
So what if it's only 1:15?
Yeah.
You know?
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Exactly.
Yes,
And
it
Goose
is.
Island is an awesome place to visit if you're in Chicago. If
It
you love-
is.
If you love unique beers, I mean, Goose Island has been here for how long?
For 26 years. Yeah. Sorry, we were founded in 1985. I work at Goose Island as well. That's I gotta make sure. But we were founded 26 years ago here in what we call the Goose Island neighborhood in Chicago, and that's where actually we got our name, Goose Island Beer Company, and been making some, as Francesca said, some amazing beers since then. A lot of them have been award-winning. And I highly recommend. The beer scene here in Chicago has definitely exploded over the last few years. Craft beer in Chicago is definitely amazing. And if you, again, travel for beer, I highly recommend coming to Chicago and not only coming to Goose Island Beer Company, our brew pub here on Clybourne Street, but as well checking out some other brew pubs around the area. Revolution Brewery is another great beer company. Latina's just opened their brew pub in the South Side area. So there's some really great beer companies here in Chicago that you should definitely explore.
Okay, so definitely come to Chicago and try the beer. Stop by Goose Island Brew Pub and some of the other ones that Anna mentioned. And so, well, let's get back a little bit more. Let's talk a little bit more about Twitter. So Ted has 17,001 Twitter followers. I just started following him last night. So tell us a little bit about your story of how you got so many Twitter followers.
Well, first of all, here's when I first started becoming prominent, and so fortunate in that respect. And I somehow got on this list of 101 adventure travel Twitter tweets that you should follow that went viral, and I just right away just got a lot of followers. And I also put a link on every post that I do, so I have a lot of links out there. I think I have over 1,000 articles that I've written online. So.
So how can people find you on Examiner.com? How can they?
I still write occasionally for Examiner. That's where I started, but my blog is travelingted.com now. So I primarily post on my blog. I started off with Examiner, and when I got on Examiner, kind of recommended I should get on Twitter. And when I did, I saw all these other travel bloggers that had their own site. So I was like, So I started asking them questions, which is another cool thing about Twitter. You know, if you see someone that's doing something, be like, hey, how did you do this? You know, and that's basically what I did with travel blog. I started seeing people and be like, oh, what site do you use? You know, so I got kind of the ins and outs of that from Twitter. So inspiration as well.
Okay, great.
And to kind of piggyback on Ted's comment there, Twitter is a great place for just to find out the news, like as it's happening.
Yes.
Like Anna was stuck in Cabo during the hurricane, and I'll let her tell you about that.
Yes.
But
tell the story.
it was, I mean, it really is. I'll be the first one to tell my family, oh, this happened, or such and such celebrity passed away. But how do you know that? I'm like, I'm on Twitter. It's Twitter first, really.
Yes.
You get the news there first, before any local newscasts or anything.
You do.
So with Twitter in particular, especially in moments of emergency, travel emergency. So I'll use my personal experience recently, but I got stuck in Cabo San Lucas where a Category 4 hurricane just went through. I lost complete communication to my family here in Chicago and around the world. So one of the things that my fiance did was he jumped on Twitter and he looked at the hashtag hurricane I think you say Odile or Odile. Odile. Yeah, I don't remember even that. I'm trying to forget about this. And then from there, he was able to get a lot of what we want to say is the latest and greatest information coming out of Cabo. So there he was able to learn that the Hilton was the only resort in Cabo that had electricity and running water, but they still had no communication. He was able to learn that emergency flights were leaving Cabo and going to other cities around Mexico, so people can then later on connect so they can go back home. So, Twitter is definitely a great tool. If you see and you hear that your family is in a situation where you can't get in touch with them, you can learn more about what's really going on there and kind of calm yourself down too, because you don't want to overly stress out. I think in my situation, I was as calm as I could be, and I think my fiance definitely felt a little bit of a relief by obtaining all this constant news that was coming through Twitter. But Twitter can also be a great way to even vent a little bit too. So I have a great experience with American Airlines. That's my airline. I love traveling with them, but once in a while things don't work. And so when you tweet at an airline, or you tweet at a hotel, or you tweet at even a chamber like at Chicago, you can let them know kind of what your experience is going on, and they almost all the time within the hour are responding back to you and letting you know like what solution they can provide you to the situation you're dealing with. So one of mine is that I had my arm seat was broken, I was stuck in the middle, and the person next to me was all on top of me, and I'm like this, and all I said to American Airlines, like, this is probably the most uncomfortable 5-hour flight I can be on right now. And then their response was, I'm so sorry. They gave me a code that I later on could use to get, it wasn't a lot, but it was 10% off our next flight. So, and that's not something that they do all the time. They definitely, this is the creepy part about social media, is that brands can definitely find out how much of a fan you are. So with American, they know that I have a particular status with them, that I travel with them all the time. So they gave me additional perks that what they probably wouldn't do with somebody if it's their first time traveling with American Airlines. So that's something also to keep in mind. Just because you're complaining doesn't mean you're going to get something immediately.
That's true, that's true. Well, I'm a former flight attendant, so for a regional carrier, and a lot of times passengers will complain to the employees. The flight attendant relays it to the captain is calling the operations or the tower, and we're not getting results. So I would tell the passengers, yeah, you should get on social media, you should tweet. And one time we were stuck in Miami, and I think we had just come from, I don't know, one of the islands, and so they had to clear customs. We had to wait for a bus to come. We could see the buses were coming and going, but they would never bring someone to the airplane to open the door so the passengers could get off, so they were missing their connections, worried about hotels. And the CEO of the airline happened to be in Miami that day, and so he responded on Twitter and told them that he was sending somebody with the bus. So brands, companies, they definitely do listen, and most people think that it's up to the employees to solve the problems, but the companies always listen to the customers, much more than they listen to the employees. Your voice is important, so you can send a tweet, and a tweet is like a really short sentence. I mean, it could just be, help, I have a problem, I'm not happy, whatever, and they'll respond immediately. They want to solve it because they don't want that problem to be spread to other countries or all over the world.
And that speaks to the power of social media, because the brands realize that a single tweet can be retweeted, as we say,
yes,
over and over again to attract more and more attention, and more people are finding out about the issue, the problem, or even if it's something good. Like you have an amazing experience with an airline or a hotel, you can use the brand or the destination, whatever their Twitter handle, within your tweet, and they may tweet it out, or someone else could retweet it, and you're really getting the message out there. So the brands, they really do pay attention to what is being said about them on social media.
And I have to chime in on that because we've been giving a lot of credit to the folks at Choose Chicago, and they are listening. Thank you for listening. And all those things are coming in of folks not only are also our viewers talking and saying that we're giving them great kudos, and then they themselves are also listening right now too. So it's just little things like this where when you give somebody credit, immediately you're gonna hear back from them.
I think so, yeah, for sure.
So that proves the power of social media.
Yeah.
It's immediate. That's the big difference. You don't have to sit down, write a letter. You don't have to wait till you get home, make the phone call. If you're on a plane, definitely use a tweet.
And with Twitter, it's concise. You're allowed 140 characters. So you put, you say what you got to say, and that's it. You don't have to kind of drag things out, you know. It's just to the point, and I like that.
Yes. Ted?
Well, while we're in the topic of social media stories, my favorite one is I was actually in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, and I was meeting with a couple of travel bloggers that I had been following on Twitter for 4 or 5 years, and my next destination was actually Borneo. I had no plans whatsoever when I got there, so it's always kind of a little nerve-wracking when you go to a new country when you're not familiar. And I was having drinks with Malaysia, Asia, and Agent CK, at 2 pretty famous travel bloggers from Malaysia. And I told them where I was going. I was going to Sarawak next, and Malaysia, Asia tweeted a hostel, or not hostel, a tour group, Planet Borneo, and the manager had read one of my blogs, probably from Twitter, on a hashtag, I'm assuming, and she was like, I'll pick him up from the airport. So, and then I went there and I spent 4 days there, and it was amazing. I did all these tours with them. One was better than the next. It was just an incredible experience. It all kind of came about from Twitter and social media.
Wow, that's great. That's a great use. And also, if you're unable to come to Chicago, you can follow the hashtag SMW Chicago, and you'll be able to follow Social Media Week Chicago. And so basically what you do is you click on the link. So it should appear like a blue link, I think. So you click on that link, and then you'll see photos, you'll see conversations, and then you can click on other conversations. Like on my way here, they were doing Google tips. So I just kind of read through that session because I missed it. So you don't always have to be present, but there's always information, always news that you can get real time with Twitter. So you can follow a conference and not be present. So that's another great use of it. So definitely follow Social Media Week Chicago since we're here. And yeah.
Yeah, and I think, you know, going back to the topic of why you guys are listening is how to travel. And I think each one of us have a really cool story of how we got into traveling, how we got inspired by it, and how we continue to get inspired by traveling. And it's definitely, at least on my end, I am constantly looking for the next place to go to. And I fantasize a lot about everywhere where I go to. So because some places are just too expensive to travel to right now. So I lean a lot, you know, I love Twitter for more like the up-to-date type of news, but I lean a lot on Instagram and Pinterest to get that inspiration, mostly because that's a place where you can see photos, and you can see photos of some beautiful places around the world. Like, I have this dream that I want to go to the Maldives, and although it's right now again, it's very expensive for me to get there, I just do hashtag Maldives, and I see some photos of folks that are there right now or that they've recently went, and it's also cool when you do something like that, because then you can find new folks to follow and you can get more inspiration on travel that way. So that's kind of how I always continue on and getting inspired of where to go next with my travel, with all my travels. How about you guys?
Yeah, speaking of, and a timely topic now with fall colors, I'm going to use Instagram to kind of gauge the fall colors in certain places, because you never really know. I mean, sometimes they start in September, sometimes late October, sometimes you're not very good in this area, sometimes you're not good in that area. So I'm going to use hashtags and look up, like, you know, Big South Fork or Porcupine mountains of Michigan, and hopefully I can see up-to-date pictures, see how the fall colors are, and plan my trips around that.
That's a great idea. I never thought of that. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's true. Well, as a flight attendant, I would see it flying over. It's always at the heads up. Yeah. You can see it from the air.
You could have done an update.
I probably could have. Oh, it's here now, this state, we're flying over this state. Yeah. So I think Instagram, I love Instagram because you can link it to Twitter. And so you can go on Instagram, you create your Instagram account, and then you upload your photos. And you can also upload little short movie clips as well, 15 seconds or less, which is really cool. And then it will also be simultaneously posted to Twitter, so you can post in both places, which is really cool. And they use lots of hashtags.
Oh yeah, I think there's no limit for hashtags on Instagram.
I think you're right.
Yeah. Or maybe there is, and I just feel like there isn't because I'm always posting like 15 in one bundle for a photo. But that's a way where you can find and connect with other folks and get inspiration.
Yes. And on Instagram is more like a photo album. You get a lot of response real time while you're posting as well, but people will go back and they will scroll through photos days later, months later, and they will like the photos. So so that's kind of how the difference between Instagram and Twitter. The tweets go away fairly quickly, but Instagram, I think, lasts a little bit longer. It has a longer shelf life.
Yeah, it definitely does. I think I was able to go back as far as January of this year.
Oh.
On the website. So not so much on, or maybe I can here, I'm not sure. But I know you can go on the website and look at your account and you can scroll as far back as I think almost a year.
Okay. Yeah, Twitter is really an app that is more so for your phone, to be used on your phone. Instagram is more an app to be used on your phone.
Twitter too,
Twitter, but I'm trying to, okay, so Twitter you can use on your laptop, tablet, or your phone. Instagram is more an app for your phone.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Mobile photography.
Mobile, I love that. Fantastic.
Or if you have a DSLR camera that has Wi-Fi already installed, you can upload photos from your fancy camera to your cell
Is that what you do?
We have a guest here, that's why we're interacting now. So I have the latest Sony that has Wi-Fi in it. Most cameras now do come with it, but you all have to pay a little bit more basically if you want that premium on your camera. For then you can later upload the photos via Wi-Fi.
That's pretty cool. So if you're just joining in, this is Social Media Week, How to Travel, and we are here with
Francesca of theworkingmomstravels.com.
And they can follow you on
Twitter at workmomtravels, and that's also my my name on Instagram. And
Okay. And I am Janice Temples, the Skychi Travel Guide, and you can follow me on Twitter at SkychiTravels, Skychi_travels. I always mess that up. But on Instagram, I am SkychiTravels.
Honest Eric, and my blog is travelinglatina.com. You can follow me on Twitter at travelinglatina, as well as on Instagram at travelinglatina with one L.
traveling with one L.
Traveling with one L.
I'm Ted Nelson with travelingted.com is my website, also with one L. Traveling Ted at Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest. And speaking of Instagram, I just put up an exciting photo of us setting up for this demonstration. So,
nice.
Did you use the hashtag?
Yeah.
How should people find it? Traveling Ted?
Traveling Ted on Instagram to see us in action before, behind the scenes.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's awesome. So let's talk a little bit about Facebook, because more people are on Facebook than they are on Twitter.
It seems that way.
It does. It does. So, well, it all started with Facebook. pretty much, I guess.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Facebook is, like Janice said, it seems that everybody's on Facebook. So, you know, how do you use Facebook to kind of plan travel or get ideas? And I would suggest starting with finding destinations, brands, tourist boards on Facebook. You can go, you know, you're on Facebook on your page, you can go up to the top in the search box. So Ted was planning a trip to Costa Rica. So you can type in Costa Rica, hit enter, and then, you know, you'll get search results. And you can find the Costa Rica Tourism Board, and who knows what else, probably individual tour companies. You could do it with Choose Chicago. Type in Choose Chicago, you can find their Facebook page. So all you have to do is like the page, and then you know, you'll get information from them in your Facebook feed. So I think it's a great place for people who may still be intimidated by Twitter to, you know, kind of engage with brands, destinations, and get some inspiration on, you know, potential trips and things like that. So we all are travel bloggers, as we stated, and we all have our own Facebook pages set up for our blogs. So if you would like to, you know, if you'd like us to inspire you even more, you can like our pages on Facebook. And I know on my blog, theworkingmomstravels.com, there's a little box on the right-hand side. It says like on Facebook. You can click on that. And you don't even have to go to Facebook. You know, it'll like my Facebook page straight from there. But if you want to find it on Facebook.com, you can just type in the search bar, The Working Moms Travels, and you'll find my page that way.
Okay. And you have any tips for Facebook travel?
You know, I think if you have any questions, so jumping on that, like if you go to Choose Chicago's page and you scroll through the information, you still don't see, or on their page, but you still don't see something where you can get your questions answered, you can always send them a message. So right on their wall, or even a private message to them and asking them, hey, I am looking for the top 10 hot dog places in Chicago. And they'll most likely respond back to you immediately and give you some ideas, or even links where you can go and check out the information that you're looking for. And it's the same thing too, if you follow a blogger, normally they're posting anywhere between, you know, links of other stories that inspire them or that they find very interesting that you should know about, or photos of their current travel experiences. And again, if you have any questions for them, they'll more than willing to answer, or even other fans that are calling, if they see your question, they might need to jump in and answer on behalf of the blogger, on behalf of the brand, etc. So to help you out. That's the one part that I find about Facebook that's a little bit different versus like a Twitter and Instagram. It's a little bit more a community type of conversation. Everyone's kind of willing to help you out here and there. And it's not just limited just to you and a particular brand or a tourism board.
Okay. Ted?
I don't really have anything to add. I feel like, you know, anyone that on Facebook, they kind of know about it. I don't really have any, I mean, I do have a decent amount of followers on Facebook, but I don't really have anything.
Okay. Well, I have one tip. What I do on my personal page for Facebook, you can create interest lists. So I have a travel list, I have a social media list, I have a tech list, and then you can add companies to that list. And then you can also get notifications. So if you, after you like the page, there's a little drop down and it says notifications. You choose that, and then it'll, in the little bubble, I don't know how to describe it, Facebook, when you get notifications, it'll pop up. Okay, so I'm a FunJet agent, so I have FunJet vacations, and I like Palace Resorts. So I get notifications from Palace Resorts. But I mean, you can do tourism boards, you can certainly do Choose Chicago, you can do any events that are coming up, concerts, you can put anything into your interest list. But I am a big fan of Twitter as well, so.
So what about Google Plus?
Oh, Google Plus. Oh, I'm a lover of Google Plus. I'm a Googler, what can I say? I think the big comparison between Facebook and Google Plus is that Facebook is now beginning to limit what you can and cannot see on your news feed, on your page. And so Google Plus goes anywhere and everywhere. If you send something out there, it goes to, and you choose like a circle, which is your friends. So Facebook has friends, Google Plus has circles, I guess, circles, people in your circle. So you have a circle of friends instead. I guess that's the best way to describe it. So if you send something to a circle, it goes to everyone in the circle, and you can email them. So your reach is 100%, whereas Facebook, it's not 100%. You never know how many people you're reaching. I guess unless you look at the numbers on the side. Sometimes it'll say it went to 2 people or 39 people. Well, Google Plus, it goes to everyone, which is what I know about Google Plus. And the other thing about Google Plus is you can use hashtags there as well to follow conversations. And you can also follow brands, so you can follow Choose Chicago on there. You can follow us on our Google Plus pages as well. So you can definitely do that. And Google Plus also gives you the option to do Hangouts, which is what we're doing now. So you can chat live with people, which is really cool. So when you're traveling and you want to save money and you want to communicate with family at home, you can do like, I guess it's similar to Skyping. It's a video call. They call it a video call. So you can hang out with people, which is pretty cool as well. Yeah.
I think one thing that's kind of interesting listening to this is we all kind of like have a lot to add to certain topics and maybe not so on certain ones. So I think same as just a normal person that uses social media, you got to use the ones that you think are the ones that you feel comfortable with, and focus on those. I mean, if you try to get into every single social media channel, you'll have no time to do, live a life. So I mean, you got to, So I mean, so I just encourage people. Like I always talk to people like about when I say I'm on Twitter or something like that. I'm like, oh, I don't really get Twitter. If you don't get it, then maybe you should look. But if you're curious, I think it is useful. You should give it a shot.
Hangout.
Yes, we are.
All right.
Oh,
Good job.
I'm trying to remember what are some of my favorite boards to follow on Pinterest, but I know on Instagram, my favorites again, I mentioned earlier too, Chicago is great. Time Out Chicago is fantastic as well, and Red Eye. Even the Tribune, if you want to just get local news, they post some great photos, especially right now when we just passed through this horrible winter here in Chicago. They posted some really cool photos of the snow around the city and the lake and stuff like that. So those are some additional accounts that I would recommend that you check out.
okay. I think Pinterest is great for vision boarding, which is like planning a trip and dreaming about a place. Maybe you'll go, I don't know, a year from now. I actually vision board for 8 years, but it wasn't on Pinterest. It was before Pinterest. And I would cut out newspaper articles from the Times and the Tribune and the Parade and whatever magazines, you know, and I just saved them in a box. Well, Pinterest allows you to do that without the paper. So you're
the mess.
right. So you can pin photos, you can pin articles, and share those and just dream. So it's a great place to just dream. Dream of travel.
I have a specific board on my Pinterest. It's called My Scottish Obsession because I'm obsessed with Scotland, and I haven't been there yet. So anything and everything I come across that has to do with Scotland gets into that board. So if you're interested in Scotland too, then follow that board.
Okay. So follow Francesca's board. You're going to Scotland.
I think I'll have to start a Costa Rica board.
Yeah. Well, I have one for Mexico, for the Palace Resorts, for Playa del Carmen and Cancun. I just love Mexico, which is where you came back. Yeah. So, I just love that. So what is your name?
Well, my name is Marcus.
Marcus?
I'm from Venezuela, yeah.
Oh.
I'm Rafael. And, well, I'm here to understand your webpage. I really love your webpage. It's a very beautiful idea because you can see how the place it is, how you describe your travel, and it's a very nice job because I really love my travels. I've been the last year on a couple of countries in Europe, and it's a very good idea because you can see if you're looking for some information about the place, you can check on your webpage and you've always been updated, and that's a very good idea. And we have some ideas to prepare some webpage also with ideas here from Chicago.
Okay.
And
do you use social media? Are you on Twitter?
oh yeah, well we're using now Twitter, Instagram, Facebook also as well. And I had my last project. It was something like more focused on the young people, because we was not focused on video games and movies and that stuff.
Okay.
But now we're something for Chicago, and it's a very good idea.
Do you have any questions about Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or Pinterest?
Can you tell us an example, a particular example that how you use the social media to do something? Like you were doing something, and then it occurs to you that you go see what's going on, and this is how a particular example.
This past spring, my family and I went to Europe. We went to Berlin, Vienna, and Prague. So I found the city's tourist boards on Twitter, and I tweeted them and said, I'm going to be in your city. These are the dates. Anything special going on? What are the must-see attractions? I'm going to have my 5-year-old daughter with me. What would be great for her to see and do? I have 2 kids. One's 5. My daughter's 5, and my son is 1. And the whole reason I started my travel blog, The Working Mom's Travels, was when I was pregnant with my daughter. I've always been a traveler, so when I was pregnant with my daughter, so many people I didn't even know very well, said to me, oh, well, your traveling days are over, you're having kids now. And I said, no, so I started, well, like, and I'm going to prove it. So I work full-time outside of the home, and I travel and I blog about it. And I'm just trying to show that it is possible to have a career, a family, and still travel, have meaningful travel. And travel is not, we don't have to go to far-off places to do it either. Being in a great city like Chicago, we can travel to however many different countries in a weekend, with all of our different ethnic neighborhoods. But getting back to your question, yes, I had my five-year-old daughter went with my husband and me. So, what should we do in your city? And then 2 of the tourist boards, said, email us and we'll send you a whole bunch of stuff. So that's what I did. So I had a good base of information before leaving on our trip, and it was very, very helpful.
Okay. And,
like I mentioned before, I use a lot of Instagram just to get inspiration of where to travel and what to see. So if I type a hashtag referencing again Chicago, hashtag Chicago, then I get to see everything that's happening around the city of Chicago. I'm looking for, let's say I'm looking for best places to have brunch. So I put hashtag brunch Chicago, and it'll pop up a couple of places and photos that people have gone to. And, most folks write on their Instagram with a photo their description of like whether or not they had a good time at that restaurant, they enjoyed the meal, what they recommend. And at the same time too, when you are uploading a photo on Instagram, you can put a location, so then you can see exactly where the location is. Right. So they don't need to necessarily have to write it in the description. You can see on top of the photo where exactly that photo was taken.
One question. Okay, so we have 3 social media. If we compare Twitter and Instagram, we can use the hashtag perfectly because it works with hashtag. But in the case of Facebook, what would be the strategy for using Facebook?
So Facebook changed their algorithm where now you can use hashtags to research. It's still, I feel there's some hiccups here and there.
I don't use it so much.
Yeah, that's right, because you don't use it, never hashtag.
But Anna said earlier,
you really have to use stuff that's going to get liked, because anytime something gets liked, then it shows other people's news feed. Right. So the more participation you get from your Facebook group, the more eyes will see it. But that's something you kind of got to figure out on your own, because it's you don't know what you're like. For me, like I don't know, it's kind of silly, but like when I show pictures of myself in a fanny pack making fun of myself, I get a lot of people liking it and joking about it. So it's like those pictures will get more likes than anything. So
where's your fanny pack? You didn't see that today.
I was thinking about bringing it just to bring it out.
Denise and Ted.
Yes.
Things that you should not do on social media.
Things that you should not do
something
on
that you
social
did,
media.
and I was like, oops, I did, or something that you saw that somebody else did.
Don't do too much. Don't post with too much of that. That's not.
Don't go like drinking and just getting way.
Especially if you want to run for office at some point.
I would definitely not that. I'm thinking things you shouldn't do. Well, on Twitter, you have to be careful of what you say because it's like a sound bite. So you may be having a conversation with someone, like several tweets back and forth. We may be talking to each other, and somebody may pick, it's a public conversation, and other people can listen, they can watch it, but they may take that one phrase and take it out of context and start sharing it like, oh, they just disrespected or talked about this company and just take it out of context. So you have to be careful. Yes. So that's, I guess, the downside, because in order to find the full conversation, you have to do a story find. You have to collect all the tweets with the photos and the videos and package them in order for people to understand the full conversation. Because 140 characters was less than 140 because you have to leave 15 characters for it to be shared. So, and then you have your handle. So it's
Right.
what, 100 characters or less probably?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's not a lot to say something, and so you don't want it to be misconstrued in that sense. So, yeah, you have to be careful.
I think also you want to share stuff. You don't want it to all be about you.
Yeah.
That's some things you look at people's feed. It's just everything is a link from there. So it's nice when you share, do a little bit of sharing of other people's stuff and passing interesting information along that's not generated by you.
So it's a selfie here, selfie there.
Yeah.
Abs, and it's like gym, and it's like my hair, and it's like, come. I see that very often.
Yeah.
And I think, about social media is there is an audience for everything. So someone who is posting all those photos of, their abs and their crazy hairdos, there is an audience for it. And that is the wonderful thing, I think, especially Twitter and even probably Instagram, Pinterest, is you can really search out those specialty interests, I guess, and really pay attention to them that way. So you'd be surprised, there is an audience for just about everything.
How do you unblock? How do you unblock?
Unplug?
Unplug, so you're like your family, and then you're like.
You get stuck in a Category 4 hurricane, and you automatically unplug.
You have no choice.
There you go.
Are you going to Canada for a week? Don't have a data plan.
Yeah.
Jones in for Wi-Fi.
Right now, I have the challenge. It's like.
Yeah,
it's so much.
I have that
Like,
challenge
with
too.
my daughter and my wife, so how do you disconnect to connect?
Yeah, that's a challenge. I do the same thing. If I try to leave the phone, at least in the other room when I'm having dinner, so at least I can make some eye contact. If I bring it take it to the dinner table, then yeah, I'm looking at the phone. So yeah, just leave, put it in a drawer for a little while and just, leave it. You have to leave it sometimes.
We have a rule in our house, with 2 kids.
Yeah.
We have a rule that there are no phones or anything at the dinner table. And when we go out and stuff, we try to do the same thing. But it does become a challenge, especially for us as travel bloggers, and I imagine you guys can agree or identify. I have to tell my family, because we have certain obligations as travel bloggers. All right, we're going to be at such and such a place, I have to tweet about it, or I have to take pictures. And my husband and my daughter especially have kind of gotten used to it, and I don't get the crazy look so much anymore. But with my family, it takes one look for my father, and I'm just like, there goes the phone, I'm done.
I know. It is a challenge. It is a challenge. I guess I got into Twitter because my youngest daughter, when she was, I think, a sophomore in high school, she would text 6,000 to 10,000 times a day. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So she literally, if I send her a text and she's sleeping, she doesn't even wake up, but she can text me back, Mom, I'm asleep. I mean, she's connected that way.
So
Literally.
she sleep texts?
Yes. Oh, she does.
I guess it's like that.
Yeah. So I mean, so I'm not addicted to that point, but yeah. So it truly is a problem. So, but
So what do you tell the audience here attending the conference? If I were you, I would do this and that to take advantage of the conference.
to take advantage of the
What would you
conference?
tell the audience?
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely.
you need to wrap up.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
So, to follow Social Media Week on Twitter, you go to the pound symbol, which is SMW, caps, and then lowercase Chicago, CHIAGO. And you click on that link, and then you read the conversations. And you will get links to articles, you'll get photos, you'll get videos, and then that is how you learn about the conference.
And probably tips from attendees.
Yeah.
People who are attending other sessions. they can tweet out some information with that hashtag.
Okay, and let's reintroduce ourselves. This has been Social Media Week Chicago, How to Travel with
Francesca of the WorkingMomsTravels.com. You can find me on Twitter at WorkMomsTravels. It's also my Instagram handle.
Okay, and I'm Janice Temple, the Skychi Travel Guide on Twitter at Skychi_travels.
Anna Serafin, TravelingLatina.com, and Instagram and Twitter is at TravelingLatina with one L and traveling.
I'm Traveling Ted, Ted Nelson, website's travelingted.com, and then Traveling Ted pretty much on any spectrum of social media, except maybe MySpace.
Is that even?
I had to get MySpace joke in there somewhere. It's sour.
Good deal.
Okay, thank you for joining us.
Thank
you.
Wait, can we get a picture of us up here?
Sure.
Before we...
What, before we log off? Or?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, we didn't even use the...
That's okay. I think it went well.
No, it did go well.
Yeah,
It did,
It's in a timeout. That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, it's still broadcast.
Oh, hi.
Hey.